Welcome to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin. Here are the stories that we're following today, July 18th, 2013. From the Caribbean, in Trinidad and Tobago, 1 dead and 20 homeless after 2 fires. In Antigua and Barbuda, Barbuda police out sick, station in a mess. And in Guyana, Air Services Limited praises emergency response to crash. Cuban account of arms, a shipment to North Korea, credible but troubling, says experts. Details on these headlines and more when we return.
Million customers use Leica Mobile for affordable international mobile calls, connecting over 2.5 million mobile calls daily, helping our customers stay in touch with their loved ones, whether they be in Asia, Africa, Europe, or the rest of the world. Every 5 seconds, a new Leica Mobile customer joins our growing family, helping you to make affordable international calls across the world. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.
Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin. This segment of the news is sponsored by Total Caribbean Network. 2 separate fires at apartment buildings in Diego Martin and Laventille have left a 41-year-old disabled man dead and 20 people homeless. In the latest incident, Ricardo Matthews died in a fire yesterday afternoon at an apartment at Smith Lane, Upper Pashley Street, Laventille. It left 8 other occupants of the building homeless. Matthews' neighbors told investigators around 2:15 p.m. they saw smoke and fire coming from their building. The fire quickly spread from the roof and engulfed the entire apartment. All the residents of the building managed to quickly exit, except for Matthews, who was said to be visually impaired and mentally challenged. A bucket brigade by residents to contain the fire was unsuccessful. Fire officers from the Morvant and Wrightson Road fire stations responded. However, fire tenders could not reach close to the building because the road was too narrow. The officers eventually gained access to the apartment by joining several hoses. Acting Assistant Divisional Fire Officer Brian Alexander and fire prevention officers are probing the fire. When reporters visited the scene, Junior Smith, a tenant of the building, said he attempted to rescue Matthews but was unable to due to the intensity of the fire. And I quote, "I heard the screaming and I was bathing, so I ran out of the bathroom. Then I saw the upstairs with heavy black smoke. I tried to break into the house, but the fire was heavy and intense. I tried to call out to him, but the fire was making so much noise with explosions," he says. Laventille West MP Neelong Hippolyte said the situation was unfortunate and he would try to assist the surviving tenants. Meanwhile, 12 people managed to escape unhurt after a fire broke out at an apartment building in Diego Martin early yesterday. According to reports, around 4:30 a.m., a resident of the building on the Diego Martin Main Road noticed smoke coming from one of the buildings. The building is located less than 200 meters away from the West End police station. The resident alerted his neighbors and landlord, after which all 12 occupants managed to leave the apartments before the blaze spread. When fire attendants arrived, soon after the entire apartment building was destroyed. The residents were visited by officials from the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, who provided them with emergency supplies and were assisting them to find temporary accommodation. Fire investigators said the fire might have been electrical. In Antigua, 4 of the 6 officers on the Sister Isle have gone on sick leave just days after fluid from a burst water main attached to the back of a toilet began flowing into the guard desk area at the Barbuda police station. While Police Commissioner Vere Brown reserved comment on the development, well-placed sources said the officers, 3 constables and a corporal, commenced leave Tuesday and wouldn't be returning to work until month end. The line to the toilet situated on the upper floor of the two-story building reportedly broke on Monday. Reports are that the liquid seeped through the holes in the floor and was dripping down on the front desk area where the officers work. While the valve was reportedly patched on Tuesday, there is also a problem with the kitchen sink pipe that is also leaking. This reportedly causes mild flooding in the immediate area, including the prisoners' holding cell. These and a number of other issues have been plaguing the station for years. Other problems include mosquito and bug infestation and flooding with contaminated water from the roadway whenever there's heavy rainfall. In March 2012, officials from the Ministry of National Security and Public Works Department said they were looking into the problem with a view to repairing the old structure or finding new accommodation. To date, neither has been done. Chairman of the Police Welfare Association, Landon Isaac, yesterday declined to comment, saying he didn't have details of the recent development. Months ago, he had condemned the conditions under which the officers were forced to work. Air Services Limited on Wednesday praised the emergency medical security and investigative response to Monday's crash by one of its aircraft in thick vegetation near the Matthews Ridge. The domestic carrier recounted that on Monday, July 15th, a flight chartered by Northwest Air Services and flown by Air Services Limited departed Ogle International Airport at 7:09 a.m. for Matthews Ridge Airstrip. At approximately 8:15 a.m., the Cessna Caravan aircraft registration 8RAMS was involved in an accident within a mile from the landing strip. ASL said it immediately dispatched emergency responders to the scene to assist passengers and crew with efforts focused on getting the best medical care for those involved, and they are pleased to have been able to achieve that. All 13 persons on board were given initial medical treatment at a triage center at the Matthews Ridge Hospital. 12 were later transferred to other medical facilities in Georgetown. All the injured, Captain Ferial Ali, who has over 20 years of experience, ensured that all the passengers disembarked and were accounted for. Within minutes of the incident, the Matthews Ridge Police Force cordoned off the area, and all involved were taken to the triage center of Matthews Ridge Hospital, where prompt medical treatment was delivered by Dr. Roger Welch and his nurses. Soon after, ASL Ogle was updated by Dr. Welch on the condition of each patient, and based on this information, the patients were then characterized and air transported for further treatment at JPHC, Balwant Singh Woodlands, and Mercy hospitals. This approach was essential, ensuring no one hospital would be overwhelmed by the sudden influx of patients, thereby averting any delay in response to the medical needs of each person. North Korea is barred by the UN from buying or selling arms, missiles, or components, but for years, UN and independent arms monitors have discovered North Korean weaponry headed to Iran, Syria, and a host of nations in Africa and Asia. The UN says North Korea also has repeatedly tried to import banned arms. What's more, analysts says it maintains its thriving sideline in repairing aging Warsaw-packed gear, often in exchange for badly needed commodities such as Burmese rice. And I quote, "They don't know how to grow rice, but they know how to repair radars," said Daryl Kimball, Executive Director of the Arms Control Association, a private group dedicated to promoting arms control. The surprise for many observers was that the latest shipment of arms headed to North Korea comes from Cuba, which acknowledged late Tuesday that it was shipping 2 anti-aircraft missile systems, 9 missiles, 2 MiG-21 fighter jets, and 15 jet engines, saying they were headed to North Korea to be repaired there. The discovery aboard the freighter Chongchon was expected to trigger an investigation by the UN Secretary Council committee that monitors the sanctions against North Korea and Panamanian officials, said UN. They said UN investigators were expected in Panama on Thursday. Britain's UN Ambassador Mark Lyle Grant said that any weapons transfers for whatever reason to North Korea would be a violation of the sanctions regime. If Cuba wanted to send the weapons for repairs and have them returned, it would have needed to get a waiver from the Security Council Committee monitoring the North Korea sanctions. A spokesman for Luxembourg's UN mission, which chairs the North Korea Sanctions Committee, told reporters that there has been no such request from Cuba. Democrat Robert Mendez, the Cuban-American chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said the incident almost certainly violated UN sanctions and urged the Obama administration to bring it to the Security Council for review. Panama's seizure of the freighter, which saw its North Korean captain try to commit suicide and 35 crewmen arrested after resisting police efforts to intercept the ship in Panamanian waters, was badly timed for officials working on baby steps towards a limited detente between the U.S. and Cuba. High-ranking Cubans were in Washington on Wednesday for immigration talks that are supposed to be held every 6 months but have been on ice since January 2011 as the nation remained at odds on issues like Cuba's imprisonment of U.S. government subcontractor Alan Gross. And I quote, "I don't think you can sugarcoat this," said Ted Picone, Senior Fellow and Deputy Director for Foreign Policy at the Washington-based Brookings Institute. "You have a suspicious cargo of weapons going to a heavily sanctioned state, and this is bad for U.S.-Cuba relations. The timing, the same week as the restart of the long-postponed migration talks, couldn't be worse." In the past, those discussions have provided a rare opportunity to discuss other issues informally in one of the few open channels of dialogue between the countries. Also in Guyana, great strides have been made in strengthening national capacity in the Caribbean Forum of African, Caribbean and Pacific States, CARIFORUM, regarding the implementation of the Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union. You are watching Caribbean Affiliate.
Million customers use Leica Mobile for affordable international mobile calls, connecting over 2.5 million mobile calls daily, helping our customers stay in touch with their loved ones, whether they be in Asia, Africa, Europe, or the rest of the world. Every 5 seconds, a new Leica Mobile customer joins our growing family, helping you to make affordable international calls across the world. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.
Stop the music! It's week 2 of our used car blowout month, and this week it's guaranteed credit approval. If we can't show you how to get approved, that car is on us. Log on now, GrecoAuto.com.